We are going to talk about the time and distance problems, and they are very basic simple problems where you need to know some formula, very few formula, and knowing this formula will help you to understand and answer most of the questions in CSIR NET examination. Time and distance. So what are the basics? Basically in time and distance we are dealing with time, distance and speed. That's all we need to deal with. And they will ask you a question regarding calculation of average speed. That is more important for CSIR NET examination. And also you need to convert kilometer per hour into minute per second, or convert minute per second into kilometer per hour depending upon the requirement. Unit conversion is very important. And also you need to understand the relationship between distance, speed and time. If you know that, you will be equipped to answer any of the question asked from this time and distance. So basic said speed equals to distance by time. 60 km per hour. A car can move at 60 km per hour. That means the car can travel 60 kilometers in 1 hour. That is the speed. What is the distance? Speed into time. Time, distance by speed. Quite easy to convert. Now convert kilometer per hour into meters per second. Meters per second. Kilometer per hour, meters per second. Easy conversion. 5 by 18. Multiply the value of kilometer per hour, let's say x, into 5 by 18 and it will be converted to meter per second. Meter per second. On the other hand, convert meter per second into kilometer per hour, multiplied inversely 18 by 5. Convert it into 18 by 5. Meter per second will be converted to kilometer per hour. Got it? 5 by 18, 18 by 5. Average speed. If the object covers a certain distance at x kilometer per hour and then the equal distance at y kilometer per hour, the average speed will be, it will never be x plus y by 2. No, it will always be 2xy by x plus y. Remember that. It will never be x plus y by 2. Just a normal average. If I say there is 5, there is 6. What is the average? You say 5 plus 6 by 2. That is 5.5. But in case of average speed, it will never be x plus y by 2. It will be 2xy by x plus y. Relationship between the distance and speed. See, the speed and time are inversely proportional when the distance is constant. If the distance is 60 kilometers, the speed and time, higher the speed, less time will be taken. Lower the speed, higher time will be taken. Got it? It's always inverse. But the distance need to be same. If the ratio of the speed of A and B is given, capital A and capital B, two different cars, the ratio of speed is small a is to small b, then the ratio of time taken will be inverse. Time will be inverse. So if the speed is A is to B, or let's say speed is x is to y, distance doubled is same, then what is the time taken will be 1 by x is to 1 by y. Okay? Remember that. Alright. So now we will solve problems from time and distance. We have seen the formula. We know what we need to remember in order to answer these questions, and we know very well. So now we'll imply those formula to get the answer from time and distance problems. Okay. And in this case always we need to have a calculation, particularly get yourself ready to convert minute per second into kilometer per hour. This calculation, this must be ready in your mind always. It's very important because it will be required in many occasions. Okay, so let's begin with it. Three men, Ram, Karan, Mohan, run around an oval garden from a fixed post at the rates of 5, 5, 1 by 7 and 5, 1 by 3 per hour. They find the greatest length, the race course can have. Okay, they find the greatest length the race course can have. So basically this is the oval shaped ground. An oval shaped ground, this three person is rolling from a particular set point. Okay, and they continue to make the rounds, and what we need to find out the length, the greatest length of the race course, the complete length that is possible for them, because as they are running around, they may go running around far or close, so that will also change the value. But that's why the question said the greatest length that you need to find here. Okay, so what we need to find is basically the length that is traveled by Ram, the length that is traveled by Karan, the length that is traveled by Mohan separately, individually, and then we'll add them to get the total length that they found, right? So basically you can see that So for RAM it is 5 per hour, whatever unit it is. For Karan 36/7 per hour, and for Mohan 16/3 per hour. Okay, so what we can see here, these are the rates per hour they are moving. (36/7) per hour for Karan, 16/3 for Mohan, and 5 hours for Ram. Now these are all values calculated. Alright, let's take a color and let's start to solve. Walking from my, so whatever it is, walking at a speed of 5 meter per hour. I am 8 minutes late in reaching my office. This should be home. Walking from my home at a speed of 5 kilometers per hour. I am 8 minutes late reaching my office. If I walk at a speed of 8 kilometers per hour, I reach 5 minutes late. How far is my office from my house? This kind of question is very common. They can either tell you that I am 8 minutes late to reach my office, or 5 minutes fast to reach my office. If I walk at speed of 8 kilometers per hour, I reach in 5 minutes late. Or sometimes they can say if I walk in this much hour, I was this much fast. So from these problems you need to solve it. So basically the formula that we'll use is this formula of speed, that is equal to distance over time, distance by time, and you can write distance equals to speed into time. This is the formula that we'll be using here, and time equals to what? Distance by speed. These are the three formula that we'll always use, either or any one of this formula. So look at here what we can use, that let the distance between the office and home be x. Okay, let it to be x. And now the thing is, what we can see, that the primary distance traveled is 5 kilometers per hour at a speed of 5 kilometers per hour, 8 minutes late. So the time taken, the first time, that is t1, let's write it t1. The first time taken was how much? 8 minutes late. So convert minute, 8 minutes late. 5 kilometers per hour was the speed. So in 1 hour, how much they will reach? 5 kilometers. So basically what we will be doing here is we are converting the kilometer per hour. So x is the total distance and kilometer per hour into minutes by 5. Got it? That much minute. And the next one is, if I walk at a speed of 8 kilometers per hour, so that is the time to 8 kilometers per hour. So distance is x, then the time taken will be what? Distance by speed, distance x, distance by speed, that is 5. Remember the formula using, time equals to distance by speed. This formula we are using in both this case. The time one is for the first one, 5 kilometers per hour, we are finding it, and the second one, distance by speed 8, but we are converting it in minutes, not in hours. That's why we multiplied with 60 in minutes. So now what we know that the time taken earlier, x into 60 by 5, time taken later, x into 60 by 8, and they said that in the first time 8 minutes delay to reach the office, second time 5 minutes delay to reach the office. So basically we can say that t2 minus t1, the difference between the time is 8 minus 5, that is 3 minutes, isn't it? 3 minutes. So now what we know, T2 minus T1, 60x by 8 minus 60x by 5 equals 3, right? So from there what we can say, 60 in one side, x by 8 minus x by 5 equals 3. So we'll solve this equation. Five x minus 8x equals 3. So 5x minus 8x equals is by 40 equals 3 by 60. Then minus 3x equals 3 into 40 by 60, or simply you can say what? You need to find the value of x. 3 into 40, 3 into 60. So basically 2 by 3. X equals 2 by 3. Doesn't matter whether it's minus or plus sign, doesn't matter. You can write it as T2 minus T1 or simply write it as T1 minus T2. Either of this will work here, okay? So the value of x is 2 by 3. So how far is my office from my house? 2 by 3 kilometers. Because that's what we figure out, right? Distance from office to home is x. We got the value of x. That is our answer. Got it? This question is not that difficult. It may be sounding a little complicated when you read it. But the idea is time taken equals to distance traveled by speed. And that's what we did to find T1 and T2. Convert the hours in minutes by multiplying them with 60. Then we simply put it into the values, because in both the case we reached the office late. In first case 8 minutes late, in second case 5 minutes late. So total time taken here is total time taken 3 minutes. So that's how we find out the value of x. Okay. Another question now. Two missiles speed directly towards each other. One at 12,000 miles per hour and the other at 18,000 miles per hour. Initially they are at a distance of 1115 miles from each other. How far apart they would exactly be 30 seconds before they collide? So collide means they will meet, right? They will meet with each other. Two missiles directly towards each other, one at 12,000 miles per hour, another one is 18,000 miles per hour. Initially they are at the distance of atomiles from each other. They are apart. Distance of 1115 miles from each other. How far apart they would be in 30 seconds before collide. Okay. So basically the two missiles, they are approaching at a speed of 12,000 plus 18,000. The total speed that they are reaching towards each other is 30,000 miles per hour. 30,000 miles per hour. If 30,000 miles per hour, then what we can do is simply convert it into minutes. How we will do that? Divide it with 60. You will get 500 miles per minute. Okay. 500 miles per minute. This is the combined speed of the missiles. Combined speed of the missiles. Exactly 30 seconds before the collide. So this is 1 minute, means 60 seconds before collide they have a distance of 500 miles. So 30 seconds means half of that. That is 250 miles. So the answer is 250 miles. Actually, the distance between the initial difference and distance between the two 1115 has nothing to deal with this problem particularly, because we can easily answer that by finding out the combined speed. And remember, if we are talking about missiles or trains that are coming towards that direction and they travel the total distance, what is the total distance traveled? There will be addition. What is the total velocity they are traveling? Will be the addition. Okay. Remember that. It's very, very important. Okay. Now let's move to this problem. Two persons A and B travel at a distance of 25 km from M and N with a speed of 2 km per hour and 3 km per hour respectively. After reaching capital M, B returns immediately. After reaching M, B returns immediately and meets A at a point O. The distance of O from N. Now this is a question which cannot be answered without drawing. So what we can say, the two person A and B traveling distance 25 kilometers from each other. The total distance, let's say this is the total distance 25 kilometers from each other. M to N, let's say this is M, this is N, then the total Mn, let me write Mn 25 kilometer. Okay, the speed of 2 km per hour. Okay, speed is written 2 km per hour speed. Okay, and 3 km per hour respectively. So speed for A 2 km per hour, for B the speed is 3 km per hour. 2 km and 3 km per hour. After reaching M, B returns immediately. So basically A is standing here, A is going in this direction, B is standing here, going in this direction. So B is going M, B reach the point M and returns at a point O. Let's say B returns to the point O. What you need to find out is this, OM. The question wants us to find out OM. So basically the distance traveled by A and B, distance traveled by A, Mn plus On. So A goes all the way to the N and return to O. B distance traveled Mn plus Om. Right? So distance, total distance traveled by AB will be Mn plus Mo plus On. So Mo plus Om. Mo plus On, this is another Mn. Mn plus Mn. That is 2 Mn. Mn. And what is the value of Mn? 25 kilometers. So 2 into 25, 50 kilometers. The total distance traveled by A and B, 50 kilometers. Okay. Total distance traveled by A and B is 50 kilometers. Now remember one thing. What is the ratio of the A and B speed? The A speed was 2 kilometers per hour, the B speed of 3 kilometers per hour. So AB speed ratio is 2 by 3. That is the, remember, speed ratio. Why we are calculating the combined distance traveled? Because we want to get this answer. Total distance traveled 50 kilometers by A and B together. Right. Actually for A it's not Mn. What A stated that A and B travel from each other and 3 kilometers. After reaching M, B returns immediately, meets A at point O. So they meet A at point O. So that means A is only reaching towards O. So A's distance basically On, not Mn plus On. Is On only. B's distance Mn plus Om. So that gives us A plus B total distance 2Mn. Got it? Because A only migrated towards O, B by that time went to M and come back to O and meet with A. Met A, right? So basically A's distance is On, B's distance Mn plus On, and that's how we get A plus B 2Mn. So 2 into 25, 50 kilometer. Rest remains fine. So the ratio of speed of A is to B is 2 is to 3. 2 kilometers per hour, 3 kilometers per hour. Okay. So what we can tell, for the A's total distance traveled 2 out of 5, B's total distance 3 out of 5. So we are finding distance of MO. That is covered by whom? MO only covered by A. So A's distance 2 by 5 into 50 kilometers. That is 20 kilometers. Answer. Okay. So this is how we'll get the answer to this question. Remember one thing, read this question carefully. When I wrote it here, it was not right. That A's movement and direction is from M to O only, and B's movement is N to M, then return back to O.